Before we dive into one of the most bizarre and chilling mysteries to ever hit Hollywood, make sure to subscribe if you love deep dives into unsolved cases, hidden truths, and shocking celebrity mysteries. Trust me, this one is going to leave you speechless. So what if I told you that an old Toyota Celica, sitting in Gene Hackman's garage, might hold the secrets to unlocking what really happened to him and his wife Betsy? Because that's exactly what authorities are now starting to believe. And no, this isn't just some old junker gathering dust. This car is a time capsule of Hackman's deepest secrets, filled with shocking memorabilia, handwritten notes, and clues that point to his final days. Let's dig into what was found and how this discovery could change everything we thought we knew about Gene Hackman's mysterious death. First, let's talk about the car itself, a Toyota Celica from the early 1980s. Now, if you're thinking, why would a Hollywood legend worth $80 million hang on to an old Toyota? You're not alone. Most people didn't even know Hackman still owned this car, but apparently he kept it for sentimental reasons, tucked away in a back garage that even some close friends and family didn't know existed. But when FBI investigators finally searched every inch of Hackman's estate after his shocking death, they stumbled upon this vehicle. And what they found inside blew them away. Inside the Celica, investigators uncovered a treasure trove of racing memorabilia, shedding light on a side of Hackman that few people ever saw. Among the items, a framed racing certificate with Hackman's name on it, proving he had completed professional-level race training, photos of Hackman at racing events, some dating back to the 70s and 80s, a leather-bound notebook filled with hand-drawn racetracks and racing stats. It turns out, Hackman had a serious passion for auto racing, something he kept private even during his peak Hollywood years. But here's where it gets strange. Some of these racing documents were dated recently, as if Hackman had been thinking about racing again in his final days, or maybe planning something. If the racing memorabilia wasn't enough, authorities also found a heavily annotated script from The French Connection, the movie that made Hackman a household name. What's eerie is that Hackman had gone back and added new notes in the margins, even though the film was released in 1971. Some of the notes reportedly said things like, "Could have played this differently. Too much force in this scene. What would Popeye Doyle be like now? Still chasing ghosts?" Reading this, it's hard not to wonder if Hackman was reflecting on his own life, comparing himself to the hardened detective he played so many years ago. Was this a man haunted by his past? Perhaps the most shocking discovery was a meticulously maintained pacemaker log, where Hackman had recorded every minor irregularity and health episode. He had detailed heart palpitations, moments of dizziness, fear of blackouts. This shows that Hackman was more worried about his health than anyone knew, even though he appeared to be in good spirits during his rare public outings. And get this. The last entry was made just days before his suspected time of death. Felt dizzy again. If anything happens to me, don't let Betsy be alone. That one line hit investigators hard, because Betsy was found dead alongside him. Here's where things get even more mysterious. The Celica's old CD player was still working and paused on a track that investigators found haunting. The song? At Last by Etta James. A song known for being about long-awaited love and devotion. For those who knew Hackman and Betsy, this was their song. They were married for over 30 years, and friends said they would often dance to it at home, away from public view. Was Hackman listening to this song in his final days, knowing something was about to happen? Or had he taken the car on one last journey, alone, before returning home? Another strange detail was the presence of dog hair and desert dust throughout the car's interior. Hackman and Betsy had several dogs, but why would dog hair be inside a car no one even knew he still drove? And where did all the desert dust come from? Some speculate Hackman took a secret trip out into the desert, maybe to think or maybe to hide something. Others wonder if he met someone there, tied to whatever caused his and Betsy's deaths. Finally, tucked in the glove compartment, authorities found a notebook with what may be Hackman's last written words. One entry, dated just days before his estimated death, read, "I'm worried I can't protect her. If I'm gone, who's left to watch over Betsy? I don't want to leave her alone in this world. This entry breaks your heart, but it also raises even more questions. Did Hackman sense something was coming? Was he sick? Or did he know someone else was a threat to them? Since news of the car's discovery broke, theories have exploded online. Was Hackman being blackmailed? Did he uncover a secret tied to his Hollywood past? Was someone threatening his family? Some speculate that the combination of racing memorabilia, old scripts, and deeply personal notes could be part of a larger story that Hackman never had the chance to tell. The FBI has yet to comment on the car publicly, but sources close to the case say they are reviewing every item found inside. Remember, the FBI's involvement itself is suspicious. They don't usually jump into natural death cases. If Hackman's car contains secrets that point to a broader conspiracy, this could explain why federal agents are taking such a keen interest. Now, as we await toxicology reports and the press conference expected to release body cam footage, all eyes are on what else investigators will uncover. Will the car lead to more discoveries? Was Hackman trying to warn someone through his notes? Or will this be one of Hollywood's darkest mysteries left unsolved? One of the most shocking details that has emerged recently is that Gene Hackman's old Toyota Celica wasn't just sitting in the garage gathering dust. It had a GPS tracking device, an unusual feature for such an old car. Sources inside law enforcement have leaked that the GPS showed the car had been driven just days before Gene and Betsy were found dead, taking a long and winding route into the New Mexico desert, far away from Hackman's usual haunts. This discovery has led authorities to retrace that mysterious trip, with FBI agents reportedly seen searching areas along that route. The big question: what was Hackman doing out there? Was he meeting someone? Was he hiding something or trying to retrieve something from his past? Or was he possibly being followed or lured somewhere as part of a larger conspiracy? What we do know is that Hackman was deeply private, and for him to take a solo trip like that, especially in a car nobody even knew he still used, suggests there was something he didn't want anyone else to know about. The Celica's GPS trail didn't just lead into the desert. It also stopped briefly at a remote storage facility on the outskirts of Santa Fe, one that Hackman reportedly rented under an alias. Investigators were quick to seize the contents of that unit, but what they found inside has only added to the mystery. Boxes filled with decades of letters, photos, and Hollywood memorabilia, including never-before-seen photos of Hackman with some of Hollywood's most powerful and controversial figures. Handwritten journals that, according to early reports, include Hackman's private reflections on his life in Hollywood, and some very cryptic notes about fearing for Betsy's safety. Old legal documents, including settlements and NDAs connected to film studios and individuals Hackman worked with. Why would a star like Hackman need to hide this in a secret storage unit? Was he afraid of these documents coming to light? And if so, who might have wanted to silence him before they could? Hackman had a long and storied career in Hollywood, but insiders say he made his fair share of enemies along the way. Though publicly he seemed affable, there are whispers that behind the scenes, Hackman fought bitterly with directors and producers, especially when he thought a film was being mishandled. He reportedly refused to cooperate with powerful studio heads and turned down roles that others would have jumped at, angering some big names. Rumors also suggest Hackman knew embarrassing secrets about fellow stars and producers, and wasn't afraid to speak his mind in private. If he was holding on to proof of scandals, abuse, or criminal behavior in those storage units, could someone have had a motive to keep him quiet? The FBI's interest in Hollywood connections. What's even more interesting is that the FBI's investigation has now expanded beyond New Mexico and into Hollywood itself. Sources say that several former co-stars and industry figures have been quietly interviewed, and subpoenas have been issued for certain documents tied to Hackman's career. This suggests that investigators are exploring whether something from Hackman's past in Hollywood could be linked to his and Betsy's deaths. Were they being blackmailed? Did Hackman discover a secret he wasn't supposed to know? Was there an attempt to intimidate or threaten them before their deaths? Authorities aren't saying much yet, but the fact that the FBI is digging into his Hollywood life points to something bigger than just natural causes. The mysterious locked box found in the car, Perhaps one of the most puzzling discoveries inside the Celica was a small, locked metal box, about the size of a shoebox, wedged under the passenger seat. Authorities had to use special tools to open it, and what they found inside has yet to be fully disclosed to the public. However, leaks suggest the contents included stacks of cash in various denominations, nearly $50,000 in total, a burner phone with encrypted messages, which the FBI is still working to unlock, a key that doesn't match anything in Hackman's home or storage units yet. What was Hackman doing with that much cash and a secret phone? Was he planning to flee? Or meeting someone he didn't trust? The contents of the box have only fueled speculation that Hackman was involved in, or knew about, something far more dangerous than anyone could have imagined. Another new detail that's emerged is that Hackman made a series of uncharacteristic phone calls days before his death, using both his personal phone and a secondary unlisted line, possibly linked to the burner phone found in the car. Reports indicate he called an unknown number traced to an out-of-state location, believed to be Nevada. His lawyer, multiple times, in a single evening, something friends say was extremely out of character for the usually calm Hackman. A former co-star, name not released, who hasn't spoken publicly but is now cooperating with the FBI. What were those calls about? Was Hackman trying to warn someone or get help? One final piece of the puzzle. Security cameras on Hackman's property show some strange activity in the days before the couple's death. According to sources close to the investigation, a dark vehicle was seen parked outside their home late at night on multiple occasions, and authorities have yet to identify the driver. Motion sensors in Hackman's backyard went off twice around 3 a.m., but nothing was reported missing. Betsy was reportedly seen on camera looking visibly upset during her last outing to the mailbox, glancing nervously over her shoulder. If someone was stalking or threatening them, this might explain both Hackman's growing paranoia and the odd contents of his car. What could Hackman have known? All of this raises a chilling possibility. Did Hackman know about an old Hollywood secret, one worth killing for? Was he targeted because of what he held in his storage unit, his car, or that mysterious box? Or had he become involved in something darker later in life? Something we may never fully understand. Another major issue now looming over the case is what happens to Gene Hackman's $80 million fortune. If foul play is confirmed and there was an attempt to manipulate Hackman or his estate, this could open up a massive legal battle over his inheritance. Who were the intended heirs? Did Hackman change his will in the weeks before his death, perhaps under pressure? And if there are people out there who benefited from his passing, are they now persons of interest to the FBI? Hackman's estate includes not only millions in cash and real estate, but also priceless Hollywood memorabilia and film rights, all of which could be at the center of a coming storm. As it stands, Hackman's death has gone from a personal tragedy to a Hollywood-level mystery, one that could shake the entertainment industry if the truth ever comes out. The Celica, once just an old car tucked away in a garage, is now ground zero for an investigation that reaches across the country, from New Mexico deserts to Hollywood boardrooms. The cash, burner phone, GPS data, secret storage unit, and security footage all point to something much darker than a simple case of natural causes. But until the FBI releases its findings, or until someone steps forward to tell what they know, we're all left wondering, what really happened to Gene Hackman and Betsy?
If you've been following this case, let me know in the comments what you think is going on.
Was Hackman hiding something big? Or was he being hunted by people from his past? And as always, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because this story is far from over, and I'll be here to keep you updated on every twist and turn. Stay tuned.